Good morning. I'm John, the marketing manager here at Tech Solutions. Thanks for coming in today.
Good morning, John. I'm Sarah. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for this opportunity.
How was your commute this morning? I hope traffic wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad at all. I actually enjoyed the drive. It gave me time to gather my thoughts.
That's great to hear. So, Sarah, tell me a bit about your educational background.
I recently graduated from State University with a bachelor's degree in marketing and a minor in digital media.
Impressive. How do you think your studies have prepared you for this role?
My coursework involved several practical projects that mirror real-world marketing scenarios.
Could you give me an example of one of these projects?
Sure. We developed a full marketing campaign for a local startup, including digital and traditional strategies.
That sounds relevant to what we do here. Can you walk me through your process for that project?
Of course. We started with market research, identified our target audience, then crafted messaging and chose appropriate channels.
Excellent. Now, this position requires strong analytical skills. How would you rate yourself in that area?
I'd say it's one of my strengths. I'm proficient in data analysis tools and enjoy finding insights in complex datasets.
Can you tell me about a time when you had to solve a difficult problem in a team setting?
During my internship last summer, our team faced a challenge with a social media campaign that wasn't performing well.
How did you approach that situation?
I suggested we analyze our engagement metrics more closely. We discovered our posting times weren't optimal for our audience.
That's a great example of problem solving. How familiar are you with our company, Tech Solutions?
I've done my research. I know you're a leader in B2B software solutions, with a focus on AI and machine learning applications.
That's correct. What interests you most about working here?
I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to marketing cutting-edge technology and learn from industry experts.
Where do you see yourself professionally in 5 years?
I aim to grow into a senior marketing role, possibly leading a team and shaping marketing strategies for innovative products.
That aligns well with our growth plans. What would you say is your greatest strength?
I'd say my creativity combined with my analytical skills. I can generate innovative ideas and back them up with data.
And what about areas where you feel you need improvement?
I'm working on enhancing my public speaking skills. I've joined a local Toastmasters club to practice regularly.
That's a great initiative. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this role?
Based on my research and the job requirements, I'm looking for a salary in the range of $50,000 to $60,000 annually.
That's within our range for this position. Do you have any questions about the role or the company?
Yes, I'm curious about the team structure. How many people would I be working with directly?
You'd be part of a 6-person team, working closely with designers, content creators, and data analysts.
That sounds great. Can you tell me more about the company culture here at Tech Solutions?
We pride ourselves on fostering innovation, collaboration, and work-life balance. We have regular team-building events and flexible working hours.
That's exactly the kind of environment I'm looking for. Are there opportunities for professional development?
Absolutely. We offer various training programs and encourage employees to attend industry conferences.
That's fantastic. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be making decisions by the end of next week. If selected, you'll have a final round with our CMO.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about me?
I think we've covered everything. Do you have any final questions for me?
Just one. What do you enjoy most about working here at Tech Solutions?
I love the constant innovation and the supportive team environment. It's never a dull day here.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for your time and for considering me for this position.
Thank you, Sarah. It was a pleasure meeting you. We'll be in touch soon with our decision. Hello, I'm Mike, the lead developer here at Cloudtech. Welcome to our office.
Hi, Mike. I'm Emily. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
The pleasure's ours. How are you finding our new office building?
It's impressive. The open layout and collaborative spaces caught my eye.
Glad you like it. So, Emily, could you walk me through your professional journey?
Certainly. I have a master's in computer science and have been coding professionally for 8 years now.
That's a solid background. What programming languages are you most comfortable with?
I'm proficient in Java, Python, and JavaScript, with experience in both front-end and back-end development.
Impressive range. Can you tell me about a challenging project you've worked on recently?
Sure. In my current role, I led the development of a real-time data processing system for a major e-commerce platform.
That sounds complex. What were some of the main challenges you faced?
The biggest challenge was ensuring scalability to handle millions of transactions during peak shopping periods.
How did you approach that problem?
We implemented a microservices architecture and used Apache Kafka for stream processing to manage the load efficiently.
That's a smart solution. How do you stay updated with the latest tech trends?
I regularly attend tech conferences, participate in online coding challenges, and contribute to open source projects.
That's great. Now, this role involves leading a team. Can you share your leadership experience?
In my current position, I mentor junior developers and have led teams of up to 8 people on various projects.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I believe in leading by example, fostering open communication, and empowering team members to take ownership of their work.
That aligns well with our culture. Speaking of which, what do you know about Cloudtech?
I've been following your work in cloud-native solutions. Your recent blockchain integration project particularly impressed me.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on cutting-edge cloud technologies and contribute to innovative solutions.
Where do you see your career heading in the next few years?
I aim to grow into a technical architect role, shaping the overall technical direction of major projects.
That's ambitious. What would you say is your biggest strength as a developer?
I'd say my ability to see the big picture while still paying attention to code-level details.
And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my skills in DevOps practices to streamline the development pipeline further.
That's a valuable skill to develop. Let's talk compensation. What are your expectations?
Given my experience and the responsibilities of this role, I'm looking at a range of $120,000 to $140,000 annually.
That's within our budget for this position. Do you have any questions about the role or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about your development methodology. Do you follow Agile or any specific framework?
We use a modified Agile approach, with 2-week sprints and daily stand-ups. We're flexible and always looking to improve our processes.
That sounds efficient. Can you tell me more about the team I'd be working with?
You'd be leading a team of 5 developers, ranging from junior to senior levels, and collaborating closely with our product and design teams.
Interesting. What kind of projects would I be involved in initially?
Your first project would likely be our new cloud security initiative, focusing on enhancing our encryption protocols.
That's exactly the kind of challenge I'm looking for. How does Cloudtech support continuous learning?
We have a generous conference and training budget, and we encourage knowledge sharing through internal tech talks.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be making a decision within the next 2 weeks. If selected, you'll have a final meeting with our CTO.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my experience or skills?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the work-life balance here at Cloudtech?
We value work-life balance highly. We offer flexible hours and remote work options to support our employees.
That's reassuring to hear. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Mike.
Thank you, Emily. It was great meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon with our decision. Good afternoon, I'm David, the Senior Project Manager at Buildwell Construction. Welcome to our office.
Good afternoon, David. I'm Lisa. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure. How was your drive here? I hope you didn't encounter too much construction on the way.
The drive was smooth, actually. I noticed some of your company's signs on a few sites. Impressive projects.
Glad to hear that. So, Lisa, could you tell me about your background in construction management?
Certainly. I have a degree in civil engineering and have been working in construction for the past 7 years.
That's a solid foundation. What types of projects have you managed in your current role?
I've overseen a variety of commercial projects, including office buildings and retail spaces, ranging from $5 million to $20 million in value.
Impressive range. Can you walk me through your approach to managing a typical project?
Sure. I start with thorough planning, including risk assessment and resource allocation. Then I focus on clear communication with all stakeholders.
That's crucial. How do you handle unexpected challenges or delays in a project?
I believe in proactive problem solving. For instance, on my last project, we faced unexpected soil conditions.
How did you address that situation?
I immediately consulted with our geotechnical engineers, adjusted our timeline, and communicated changes to the client to manage expectations.
Good handling. How familiar are you with sustainable construction practices?
I'm quite familiar. In my current role, I've led several LEED certified projects and stay updated on the latest green building technologies.
That's great to hear. At Buildwell, we're expanding our sustainable projects. How would you contribute to this initiative?
I'd love to apply my experience in sustainable practices and perhaps introduce new eco-friendly materials and methods to further reduce our environmental impact.
Excellent. Now, this role involves managing multiple projects simultaneously. How do you prioritize and stay organized?
I use project management software to track progress and deadlines. I also have a system for daily and weekly check-ins with each team.
Sounds efficient. Can you tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult team member or subcontractor?
In my previous project, we had a subcontractor consistently missing deadlines. I scheduled a face-to-face meeting to understand the root causes.
How did you resolve the issue?
We identified some communication gaps and resource constraints. I adjusted our workflow and increased check-ins, which got the project back on track.
That's a great example of problem solving. What do you know about Buildwell construction?
I've researched your company and I'm impressed by your portfolio of large-scale commercial and residential projects, as well as your commitment to innovation.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on more diverse and larger-scale projects and to contribute to Buildwell's reputation for quality and innovation.
Where do you see your career in construction heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to grow into a senior project management role, possibly overseeing multiple large-scale projects or an entire division.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a project manager?
I'd say my ability to anticipate potential issues and plan for contingencies, which has helped me keep projects on time and within budget.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my technical knowledge, particularly in new construction technologies and software.
That's a good area to focus on. Now, let's discuss compensation. What are your salary expectations for this role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $90,000 to $110,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the project teams I would be managing.
Typically, you'd be overseeing teams of 15 to 20 people, including various trades and subcontractors.
I see. And what's the largest project in terms of budget that I might be responsible for?
We have upcoming projects ranging up to $50 million, so you'd have the opportunity to manage significantly larger projects than in your current role.
That's exciting. How does Buildwell support professional development for its project managers?
We offer regular training sessions, support for obtaining additional certifications, and opportunities to attend industry conferences.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be reviewing candidates over the next week. If selected, you'll have a site visit to one of our ongoing projects.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my experience or skills?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Buildwell?
We pride ourselves on fostering a collaborative environment with a strong emphasis on safety, quality, and continuous improvement.
That aligns well with my values. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, David.
Thank you, Lisa. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon with our decision. Hello, I'm Tom, the head of digital marketing at Innovatech. Thanks for coming in today.
Hi, Tom. I'm Rachel. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited to be here.
Great to meet you, Rachel. Did you have any trouble finding our office?
Not at all. Your directions were very clear and I love the area. It seems very vibrant.
Glad to hear it. So, Rachel, I understand you're making a career transition. Can you tell me about your background?
Of course. I spent the last 8 years in retail management, but I've been actively developing my digital marketing skills over the past 2 years.
Interesting shift. What prompted this career change?
I've always been fascinated by the digital landscape. In my retail role, I saw firsthand the impact of digital marketing on customer behavior.
That's a valuable perspective. How have you been developing your digital marketing skills?
I've completed several online certifications, including Google Analytics and HubSpot's inbound marketing course. I've also been managing social media for a local nonprofit.
That's proactive of you. Can you tell me about a digital marketing campaign you've worked on?
Certainly. For the nonprofit, I ran a social media campaign to increase attendance at a fundraising event.
What was your strategy for that campaign?
I used a mix of organic content and paid ads on Facebook and Instagram, targeting local users interested in our cause.
And what were the results?
We saw a 50% increase in event attendance compared to the previous year, and our social media following grew by 30%.
Those are impressive numbers. How comfortable are you with data analysis and reporting?
I'm proficient in using Google Analytics and Excel for data analysis. In my retail role, I regularly analyze sales data to inform marketing strategies.
That's a transferable skill. This role requires strong writing skills. How would you rate yourself in that area?
I'd say it's one of my strengths. I've written blog posts for the nonprofit and created engaging social media content.
Good to know. Can you tell me about a time when you had to learn a new skill quickly?
When I first started managing the nonprofit's social media, I had to quickly learn how to use various scheduling and analytics tools.
How did you approach that learning curve?
I took advantage of free online tutorials, joined relevant online communities for tips, and practiced daily to build my skills.
That's a great approach. What do you know about Innovatech and our products?
I've researched your company, and I'm impressed by your innovative SaaS solutions, particularly your AI-driven customer engagement platform.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our marketing team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to apply my customer-centric approach to digital marketing for cutting-edge tech products.
Speaking of which, how do you stay updated with the latest digital marketing trends?
I follow industry leaders on social media, subscribe to marketing newsletters, and participate in webinars and online workshops regularly.
That's proactive. Where do you see your digital marketing career in 3 years?
I aim to become a well-rounded digital marketer, possibly specializing in content strategy or marketing automation.
Solid goals. What would you say is your biggest strength in terms of digital marketing?
I'd say my customer insight. My retail background gives me a unique perspective on consumer behavior and preferences.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you need to improve?
I'm working on enhancing my technical SEO skills. I've started a course to deepen my knowledge in this area.
That's a good focus. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations?
Given this is a career transition for me, I'm looking at a range of $45,000 to $55,000 annually based on my research for entry-level positions in this field.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the structure of the marketing team. How many people would I be working with directly?
You'd be part of a 6-person digital marketing team, working closely with content creators, designers, and our product team.
That sounds great. Can you tell me more about the typical projects I might be involved in?
You'd be helping to plan and execute our social media strategies, email marketing campaigns, and assisting with content creation for our blog and website.
That aligns well with my interests. How does Innovatech support professional development?
We offer a learning stipend for courses and certifications, and we encourage attending industry conferences.
That's fantastic. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be reviewing candidates over the next week. If selected, you'll have a short practical assignment to showcase your skills.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my experience or skills?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Innovatech?
We're a dynamic, fast paced environment that values innovation, collaboration, and continuous learning.
That sounds like an exciting place to work. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Tom.
Thank you, Rachel. It was great meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon with our next steps. Good morning, I'm Dr. James Wilson, Superintendent of Oakwood School District. Welcome to our administrative office.
Good morning, Dr. Wilson. I'm Sarah Thompson. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's my pleasure, Sarah. I hope you found our office without any trouble.
Not at all. I actually drove by some of the district schools on my way here. They look very well maintained.
Glad to hear that. So, Sarah, could you walk me through your journey in education?
Certainly. I have a master's in education and have been teaching for 15 years, the last 5 as a department head.
That's a solid background. What grades and subjects have you primarily taught?
I've mainly taught high school English, but I've also had experience with middle school language arts and social studies.
Diverse experience. Can you tell me about your leadership style as a department head?
I believe in collaborative leadership. I focus on fostering open communication and empowering teachers to innovate in their classrooms.
That's important. How do you handle conflicts between staff members?
I believe in addressing conflicts promptly and directly. For instance, last year we had a disagreement about curriculum changes.
How did you approach that situation?
I organized a meeting where all parties could voice their concerns. We then worked together to find a compromise that met everyone's needs.
Good approach. What's your philosophy on student discipline?
I believe in restorative justice practices. It's about teaching students to take responsibility for their actions and make amends.
Interesting. How would you implement that on a school-wide level?
I'd start by training staff in restorative practices, then gradually introduce it in classrooms before expanding to the whole school.
That's thoughtful. Now, as principal, you'd be responsible for the school's budget. How comfortable are you with financial management?
In my role as department head, I managed our department's budget. I've also taken courses in educational finance to prepare for an administrative role.
That's proactive. Can you tell me about a time when you had to make a difficult decision as a leader?
Last year, we had to cut an elective program due to budget constraints. It was a popular course, but low enrollment made it unsustainable.
How did you handle that situation?
I met with a teacher and affected students to explain the decision. We then worked to integrate elements of the course into other classes.
That's a thoughtful approach. What do you know about Oakwood School District?
I've researched the district, and I'm impressed by your commitment to technology integration and your above-average test scores.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about becoming a principal in our district?
I'm excited about the opportunity to shape a positive school culture and to implement innovative educational strategies on a larger scale.
Those are important goals. Where do you see yourself professionally in 5 years?
I aim to have established a track record of improving student outcomes and teacher satisfaction, possibly moving towards a district-level position.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as an educator and leader?
I'd say my ability to build strong relationships with students, teachers, and parents, which I believe is crucial for a positive school environment.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my skills in data analysis to make more informed decisions about curriculum and instruction.
That's an important area. Now, let's discuss compensation. What are your salary expectations for this role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $90,000 to $110,000 annually.
That's within our range for this position. Do you have any questions about the role or our district?
Yes, I'm curious about the current challenges facing the school where this position is open.
The main challenges are improving math scores and increasing parent involvement. How would you approach these issues?
For math scores, I'd analyze the current curriculum and teaching methods and possibly implement additional support programs. For parent involvement, I'd look at expanding communication channels and creating more opportunities for parents to engage with the school.
Those are good starting points. What's your approach to teacher evaluation and professional development?
I believe in a growth-minded approach to evaluation, coupled with targeted professional development opportunities based on individual teacher needs and school-wide goals.
That aligns with our philosophy. What's your vision for technology use in the classroom?
I see technology as a tool to enhance learning, not replace traditional methods. I'd focus on meaningful integration that supports our curriculum goals.
Well said. What's the next step in the hiring process? We'll be conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll also have a meeting with some of our current principals.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my experience or educational philosophy?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How does the district support its principals in terms of professional growth and autonomy?
We offer regular leadership training and give our principals considerable autonomy in running their schools, with support from the district as needed.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you, Sarah. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good afternoon, I'm Michael, the Senior Data Analyst at Tech Insights. Welcome to our office.
Good afternoon, Michael. I'm Emma. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Emma. How are you finding our office? I hope the security check-in wasn't too cumbersome.
Not at all. The process was smooth, and I must say, your office has a very modern and energetic vibe.
Glad you like it. So, Emma, you're a recent graduate, right? Tell me about your educational background.
Yes, I just graduated last month with a degree in statistics and a minor in computer science from State University.
That's a solid combination. What drew you to the field of data analysis?
I've always been fascinated by the power of data to drive decision-making. My internship last summer really cemented my interest.
Interesting. Can you tell me more about that internship?
Certainly. I interned at a local marketing firm where I helped analyze customer segmentation data for targeted campaigns.
That's relevant experience. What tools did you use for that analysis?
I primarily used Python for data cleaning and analysis, and Tableau for visualization. I also got some exposure to SQL.
Good set of skills. Can you walk me through a project you worked on during your studies or internship?
Sure. For my final year project, I analyzed social media sentiment data to predict movie box office performance.
That sounds interesting. What were your key findings?
We found a strong correlation between positive pre-release social media sentiment and opening weekend box office numbers.
Interesting. How did you handle the large volume of social media data?
We used Python libraries like NLTK for sentiment analysis and Pandas for data manipulation. We also used cloud computing resources to handle the data volume.
Good approach. Now, this role involves a lot of data visualization. How comfortable are you with creating dashboards?
I'm quite comfortable with Tableau and have some experience with Power BI. I enjoy finding creative ways to present complex data.
That's great. Can you tell me about a time when you had to explain complex data findings to non-technical stakeholders?
During my internship, I had to present customer segmentation results to the marketing team. I used clear visuals and relatable examples to convey the insights.
Good strategy. How do you ensure the accuracy of your analysis?
I always start with thorough data cleaning and validation. I also use cross-validation techniques and consult with team members to verify my findings.
That's a solid approach. What do you know about Tech Insights and our work?
I've researched your company, and I'm impressed by your data-driven solutions for various industries, particularly your work in predictive analytics.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on diverse projects and learn from experienced analysts in a fast-paced tech environment.
Where do you see your career in data analysis heading in the next few years?
I aim to become proficient in advanced statistical techniques and machine learning, possibly moving into a data scientist role in the future.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a budding data analyst?
I'd say my ability to quickly learn and adapt to new tools and techniques. Technology in this field is always evolving, and I enjoy keeping up with it.
That's a valuable trait. And what's an area where you feel you need to improve?
I'm working on enhancing my skills in big data technologies like Hadoop and Spark. I've started some online courses in these areas.
That's proactive of you. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this entry-level role?
Based on my research for entry-level data analyst positions in this area, I'm looking at a range of $50,000 to $60,000 annually.
That's within our range for this position. Do you have any questions about the role or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the structure of the data team. How many people would I be working with directly?
You'd be part of a team of 6 analysts, working under 2 senior analysts, including myself.
That sounds great. Can you tell me more about the types of projects I might be involved in initially?
Your initial projects would likely involve customer behavior analysis for our e-commerce clients and assisting with our quarterly industry reports.
That aligns well with my interests. How does Tech Insights support professional development for junior analysts?
We offer access to online learning platforms, support for relevant certifications, and pair junior analysts with senior mentors.
That's fantastic. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be reviewing candidates over the next week. If selected, you'll have a technical assessment to showcase your analytical skills.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my skills or experience?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Tech Insights?
We're a collaborative team that values innovation, continuous learning, and work-life balance. We also have monthly team-building activities.
That sounds like a great environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Michael.
Thank you, Emma. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good morning, I'm Robert, the Director of Human Resources at Globalcorp. Thank you for coming in today.
Good morning, Robert. I'm Jennifer. I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you.
It's our pleasure, Jennifer. I hope you found our office easily. Did you have any trouble with parking?
Not at all. Your directions were very helpful, and the parking validation system is quite efficient.
Glad to hear it. So, Jennifer, you've been in HR for a while now. Could you walk me through your career journey?
Certainly. I have a degree in business administration with a focus on HR. I've been working in HR for 10 years, starting as an HR assistant and progressing to my current role as an HR generalist.
That's a solid background. What aspects of HR do you find most rewarding?
I really enjoy the strategic aspects of HR, particularly how it can drive organizational change and improve employee satisfaction.
That's an important perspective. Can you tell me about a significant HR initiative you've led in your current role?
Sure. I spearheaded the implementation of a new performance management system that shifted us from annual reviews to continuous feedback.
That's a big change. How did you manage the transition?
We started with a pilot program in one department, gathered feedback, made adjustments, and then rolled it out company-wide with comprehensive training.
Good approach. How do you handle sensitive situations, such as employee conflicts or disciplinary actions?
I believe in addressing issues promptly and discreetly. I focus on active listening, remaining objective, and finding solutions that align with company policies and values.
That's important. Can you give me an example of a particularly challenging HR situation you've dealt with?
We once had a high-performing employee who was consistently violating our time and attendance policy. It was affecting team morale.
How did you handle that situation?
I had a series of documented conversations with the employee, explored if there were underlying issues, and worked with them to create an improvement plan. Unfortunately, the behavior didn't change, and we ultimately had to terminate their employment.
That's a tough but sometimes necessary decision. How do you stay updated with changing employment laws and regulations?
I'm a member of SHRM and regularly attend their webinars and conferences. I also subscribe to several HR publications and legal updates.
That's proactive. What experience do you have with HR analytics and HRIS systems?
In my current role, I use Workday for most HR functions. I've also led projects using HR analytics to inform decisions on recruitment strategies and employee retention initiatives.
That's valuable experience. What do you know about Globalcorp and our company culture?
I've researched Globalcorp, and I'm impressed by your commitment to sustainability and your recent recognition as a top employer in the industry.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our HR team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to a global organization and to help shape HR strategies that support your diverse workforce.
Those are important aspects of the role. Where do you see your HR career heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to grow into a strategic HR leadership role, possibly overseeing HR operations for a region or division of a large corporation.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as an HR professional?
I'd say my ability to balance the needs of the employees with the goals of the organization. I believe in creating win-win solutions.
That's a valuable skill. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my change management skills. I've recently started a certification program in this area.
That's a good focus. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this HR manager role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $90,000 to $110,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the HR team here at Globalcorp. How many people would I be managing directly?
You'd be overseeing a team of 5 HR specialists, covering areas like recruitment, training, and employee relations.
That sounds like a good-sized team. Can you tell me more about the main HR challenges Globalcorp is currently facing?
Our main challenges are managing our rapid global expansion and maintaining a cohesive company culture across diverse locations.
Those are significant challenges. How does Globalcorp approach diversity and inclusion in the workplace?
We have a comprehensive D&I strategy, including diverse hiring practices, inclusion training, and employee resource groups. How would you contribute to these efforts?
I'd focus on expanding our diverse talent pipelines, implementing unconscious bias training, and using data to track and improve our D&I metrics.
Those are good strategies. How do you approach talent development and succession planning?
I believe in creating individualized development plans, providing mentorship opportunities, and regularly assessing our talent pipeline against future business needs.
That aligns with our philosophy. What's your experience with union negotiations or working in a unionized environment?
I have experience working with unions in my current role. I focus on building positive relationships and finding mutually beneficial solutions during negotiations.
That's valuable experience. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll also have a meeting with our CEO to discuss your vision for HR at Globalcorp.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my experience or approach to HR?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How do you maintain work-life balance in a demanding HR role? And how would you promote this for employees?
I'm a strong believer in work-life balance. I practice good time management and set clear boundaries. For employees, I'd advocate for flexible work arrangements and wellness programs.
That's a thoughtful approach. Thank you so much for your time and insights, Jennifer.
Thank you, Robert. I've really enjoyed our conversation and learning more about the opportunity at Globalcorp.
Good morning. I'm Dr. James Carter, Chief of Medicine at City General Hospital. Welcome to our facility.
Good morning, Dr. Carter. I'm Sarah Johnson. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Sarah. I hope you found your way around our hospital complex without too much trouble.
Not at all. Your reception staff were very helpful, and I must say, the hospital seems very well organized.
Glad to hear it. So, Sarah, you've been in nursing for quite some time now. Could you walk me through your career journey?
Certainly. I have a BSN and 15 years of nursing experience, including 7 years in the ER and the last 5 years as a charge nurse in the ICU.
That's a strong background. What aspects of nursing leadership do you find most rewarding?
I really enjoy mentoring new nurses and working on process improvements that enhance patient care and staff satisfaction.
Those are crucial aspects. Can you tell me about a significant improvement initiative you've led in your current role?
Sure. I led the implementation of a new patient handoff protocol in our ICU that significantly reduced communication errors.
That's important work. How did you manage the change process?
We started with a small pilot, gathered feedback from staff, made adjustments, and then provided comprehensive training before full implementation.
good approach. How do you handle difficult situations, such as conflicts between staff members or complaints from patients' families?
I believe in addressing issues promptly and privately. I focus on active listening, remaining calm and objective, and finding solutions that align with our care standards and hospital policies.
That's a sound strategy. Can you give me an example of a particularly challenging situation you've dealt with as a charge nurse?
We once had a situation where a family was insisting on a treatment plan that our medical team didn't feel was in the best interest of the patient.
How did you handle that delicate situation?
I arranged a meeting with the family, the attending physician, and our patient advocate. We listened to the family's concerns, explained our medical recommendations clearly, and ultimately reached a compromise that everyone was comfortable with.
That's excellent conflict resolution. How do you stay updated with the latest developments in nursing practice and hospital management?
I'm a member of the American Nurses Association and regularly attend their conferences. I also subscribe to several nursing journals and participate in ongoing education courses.
That's proactive. What experience do you have with electronic health records and other healthcare IT systems?
I'm proficient with Epic EHR system and have led training sessions for staff during our last system update. I'm also familiar with various patient monitoring and medical devices used in ICU settings.
That's valuable experience. What do you know about City General Hospital and our approach to patient care?
I've researched City General and I'm impressed by your commitment to patient-centered care and your recent recognition for excellence in emergency and cardiac care.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our nursing leadership team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to a larger department and to help implement best practices that can improve patient outcomes across multiple units.
Those are important goals. Where do you see your nursing career heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to continue growing in nursing leadership, possibly pursuing a master's in nursing administration and taking on broader responsibilities in hospital operations.
Ambitious plans? What would you say is your greatest strength as a nursing leader?
I'd say my ability to remain calm and focused in high-stress situations, which helps me make clear decisions and keep my team composed.
That's crucial in a hospital environment. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my financial management skills. I've recently started a healthcare finance course to better understand budgeting and resource allocation in a hospital setting.
That's a good area to develop. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this nursing manager role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $95,000 to $115,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our hospital?
Yes, I'm curious about the size of the nursing staff I would be overseeing and the primary units I'd be responsible for.
You'd be managing a team of about 50 nurses across our medical, surgical, and telemetry units.
That's a good-sized team. Can you tell me more about the main challenges these units are currently facing?
Our main challenges are reducing readmission rates and improving patient satisfaction scores. How would you approach these issues?
For readmissions, I'd focus on improving discharge education and follow-up processes. For patient satisfaction, I'd implement regular rounding and create a patient feedback system to quickly address concerns.
Those are good strategies. How do you approach staff development and retention?
I believe in creating individualized development plans, providing mentorship opportunities, and recognizing and rewarding excellent performance. I also focus on creating a positive work environment to improve retention.
That aligns with our philosophy. What's your experience with quality improvement initiatives and regulatory compliance?
In my current role, I've led several quality improvement projects and worked closely with our compliance team during joint commission surveys. I understand the importance of maintaining high standards and thorough documentation.
That's valuable experience. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll also have a chance to tour the units and meet with some of the staff you'd be managing.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my experience or approach to nursing leadership?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How do you maintain work-life balance in a demanding healthcare role? And how would you promote this for your staff?
I prioritize self-care and set clear boundaries between work and personal time. For staff, I'd advocate for balanced scheduling, promote the use of employee assistance programs, and create a culture where taking breaks and using vacation time is encouraged.
That's a thoughtful approach. Thank you so much for your time and insights, Sarah.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. I've really enjoyed our conversation and learning more about the opportunity at City General Hospital.
Hello, I'm Mark, the creative director at Innodesign. Thanks for coming in today.
Hi, Mark. I'm Sophie. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited to be here.
Great to meet you, Sophie. Did you have any trouble finding our studio?
Not at all. Your colorful mural on the building's exterior made it easy to spot.
Glad to hear it. So, Sophie, you're a recent graduate, right? Tell me about your design background.
Yes, I graduated last year with a degree in graphic design from Art Institute. I've been freelancing since then.
Interesting. What type of design work do you enjoy most?
I'm particularly passionate about branding and logo design. I love the challenge of distilling a company's essence into a visual identity.
That's a valuable skill. Can you walk me through your design process?
Certainly. I start with thorough research about the client and their industry, then move to sketching concepts, and finally refine the best ideas digitally.
Good approach. What design software are you proficient in?
I'm skilled in the Adobe Creative Suite, particularly Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. I've also been learning Figma for UI design.
That's a solid toolkit. Can you tell me about a challenging design project you've worked on recently?
Sure. I recently designed a complete brand identity for a local eco-friendly cafe, including logo, packaging, and menu design.
Sounds comprehensive. What was the biggest challenge in that project?
The biggest challenge was creating a cohesive look across various applications while maintaining the eco-friendly ethos in the design choices.
How did you overcome that challenge?
I focused on using earthy colors and organic shapes and researched eco-friendly printing options to suggest to the client.
That's thoughtful. How do you handle client feedback, especially when it's critical?
I see feedback as an opportunity to improve the design and better meet the client's needs. I ask clarifying questions and incorporate their input constructively.
Good attitude. How do you stay updated with the latest design trends and technologies?
I follow design blogs, attend webinars, and participate in online design communities. I also try to experiment with new techniques in my personal projects.
That's proactive. What do you know about Innodesign and our work?
I've researched your agency, and I'm impressed by your diverse client portfolio and the innovative campaigns you've created, especially in the tech sector.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on diverse projects and learn from experienced designers in a collaborative environment.
Speaking of collaboration, how do you work in a team setting?
I enjoy bouncing ideas off team members and believe that diverse perspectives lead to stronger designs. I'm always open to feedback and willing to support others.
That's important here. Where do you see your design career heading in the next few years?
I aim to grow into a senior designer role, developing my skills in art direction and perhaps specializing in UX/UI design.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a designer?
I'd say my ability to think conceptually and translate abstract ideas into visually compelling designs.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you need to improve?
I'm working on improving my typography skills. I've been taking an online course to deepen my understanding of type design and hierarchy.
That's a good focus. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this junior designer role?
Based on my research for junior designer positions in this area, I'm looking at a range of $40,000 to $50,000 annually.
That's within our range for this position. Do you have any questions about the role or our agency?
Yes, I'm curious about the structure of the design team. How many designers would I be working with?
We have a team of 8 designers, including 2 senior designers who would act as mentors for junior team members.
That sounds great. Can you tell me more about the types of clients I might be working with initially?
Your initial projects would likely involve our small business clients, helping with branding and marketing materials.
That aligns well with my interests. How does Innodesign support professional development for junior designers?
We offer access to online learning platforms, send our designers to industry conferences, and have a budget for design books and resources.
That's fantastic. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be reviewing portfolios and conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll have a small design challenge to showcase your skills.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my design approach or experience?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the creative culture at Innodesign?
We foster a culture of creativity and innovation, encouraging designers to push boundaries while maintaining a strong focus on meeting client needs.
That sounds like an inspiring environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Mark.
Thank you, Sophie. It was great meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good afternoon, I'm Jonathan, the Food and Beverage Director at Grand Lux Hotel. Welcome to our establishment.
Good afternoon, Jonathan. I'm Isabella. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Isabella. I hope you had a chance to look around our hotel facilities.
Yes, I did. The grand lobby and restaurants are truly impressive. The attention to detail is remarkable.
Glad you appreciate it. So, Isabella, you've been in the culinary world for quite some time. Could you walk me through your journey?
Certainly. I have a degree from Le Cordon Bleu and 15 years of experience, including 5 years as sous chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant.
That's an impressive background. What's your culinary philosophy?
I believe in showcasing local, seasonal ingredients with modern techniques, always respecting the essence of each component.
Interesting. Can you tell me about a signature dish you've created?
One of my favorites is a deconstructed bouillabaisse, reimagining the classic Provençal dish with local seafood and modern plating techniques.
Sounds intriguing. How do you approach menu planning for a luxury hotel setting?
I focus on creating a diverse menu that caters to various dietary needs and preferences while maintaining a cohesive culinary identity for the hotel.
That's important for us. How do you handle the pressures of a busy kitchen?
I believe in strong organization, clear communication, and staying calm under pressure. I lead by example and foster a positive kitchen culture.
Good approach. Can you tell me about a challenging situation you've faced in your current role and how you resolved it?
We once had a last-minute VIP guest with severe allergies. I quickly created a special menu, ensuring all staff were briefed on the allergen protocols.
How do you stay updated with culinary trends and techniques?
I regularly attend food festivals, read culinary publications, and experiment with new techniques in my free time. I also network with other chefs to exchange ideas.
That's proactive. What experience do you have with cost control and inventory management?
In my current role, I've implemented a digital inventory system that reduced food waste by 20% and improved our cost of goods sold ratio.
That's impressive. How do you approach staff training and development?
I believe in ongoing training. I implement regular skills workshops, encourage staff to enter competitions, and mentor promising junior chefs.
That aligns with our philosophy. What do you know about Grand Lux Hotel and our culinary offerings?
I've researched your hotel, and I'm impressed by your commitment to luxury dining experiences, particularly your award-winning rooftop restaurant.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our culinary team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to elevate the culinary offerings across multiple outlets and to work with a diverse, international clientele.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your culinary career heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to establish a reputation for culinary excellence for the hotel, possibly earning accolades and expanding our F&B offerings.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a chef?
I'd say my ability to innovate while maintaining consistency and quality across all dishes and outlets.
That's crucial. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my knowledge of global cuisines. I've recently been studying Southeast Asian flavors and techniques.
That could be valuable for our international guests. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this head chef role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $90,000 to $110,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our hotel?
Yes, I'm curious about the size of the culinary team and the different F&B outlets I would be overseeing.
You'd be leading a team of 30 chefs across our main restaurant, rooftop bar, banquet operations, and in-room dining.
That's a good-sized operation. Can you tell me more about the hotel's sourcing policies for ingredients?
We prioritize local and sustainable sourcing where possible, with some specialty items imported for our fine dining outlets.
That aligns with my philosophy. How much creative freedom would I have in menu development?
You'd have significant creative control, working within our brand guidelines and collaborating with the F&B team on overall concepts.
That's exciting. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll be asked to create a sample menu and prepare a signature dish for our executive team.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my culinary experience or management style?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How does the hotel support work-life balance for its culinary staff, given the demanding nature of the job?
We're committed to sustainable scheduling practices, ensuring adequate time off and promoting a healthy work environment. We also offer wellness programs for all staff.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Jonathan.
Thank you, Isabella. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good morning, I'm Alex, the Director of Project Management at Technova. Welcome to our headquarters.
Good morning, Alex. I'm Rachel. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Rachel. I hope you found our office okay. The tech corridor can be a maze sometimes.
I did. Thanks. Your building's quite distinctive with its modern architecture. It's impressive.
Glad you like it. So, Rachel, you've been in IT project management for a while now. Could you walk me through your career journey?
Certainly. I have a degree in computer science and an MBA. I've been in IT for 12 years, with the last 7 focused on project management.
That's a solid background. What types of projects have you typically managed?
I've led a variety of projects, from large-scale cloud migrations to custom software development for enterprise clients.
Impressive range. Can you tell me about the most challenging project you've managed recently?
Sure. I recently led a multi-year digital transformation project for a financial services client, involving legacy system modernization and process automation.
That sounds complex. What was the biggest challenge in that project?
The biggest challenge was managing change resistance among the client staff while keeping the project on schedule and within budget.
How did you overcome that challenge?
I implemented a comprehensive change management strategy, including regular stakeholder communication, hands-on training sessions, and phased implementation to ease the transition.
Good approach. What project management methodologies are you most familiar with?
I'm well versed in both Agile and Waterfall methodologies. I typically use a hybrid approach, tailoring the methodology to the specific needs of each project.
Flexibility is key. How do you handle resource allocation across multiple projects?
I use project management software to track resource utilization and capacity. I also hold regular meetings with team leads to prioritize tasks and address any resource conflicts.
That's thorough. Can you tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult stakeholder?
In my last project, we had a stakeholder who frequently requested scope changes late in the development cycle.
How did you manage that situation?
I scheduled a meeting to review the project charter and remind them of the agreed-upon change control process. We then worked together to prioritize their requests for future phases.
Good resolution. How do you ensure effective communication across diverse project teams?
I established clear communication channels and regular check-ins. I also leverage collaboration tools and ensure that project documentation is always up to date and accessible.
That's crucial. What experience do you have with budgeting and financial management of projects?
In my current role, I manage project budgets ranging from $500,000 to $5 million. I've consistently delivered projects within 5% of budgeted costs.
That's impressive. What do you know about Technova and our products?
I've researched Technova, and I'm impressed by your innovative work in AI and machine learning, particularly your recent launch of an AI-powered analytics platform.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our project management team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on cutting edge tech projects and to contribute to scaling Technova's project management practices as the company grows.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your career in project management heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to move into a senior leadership role, possibly overseeing a portfolio of strategic projects and mentoring junior project managers.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a project manager?
I'd say my ability to navigate complex stakeholder relationships while keeping projects on track and teams motivated.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my technical knowledge to better understand and communicate with development teams. I've recently been studying machine learning concepts.
That could be beneficial here. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this senior PM role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $120,000 to $140,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the project management team here at Technova.
We have a team of 15 project managers, with 3 senior PMs overseeing different product lines. You'd be joining as one of these senior PMs.
That's a good setup. Can you tell me more about the types of projects I'd be managing initially?
Your initial focus would likely be on our AI analytics platform, managing both feature development and client implementation projects.
That aligns well with my interests and experience. How does Technova support professional development for its project managers?
We offer certifications in various PM methodologies, send our managers to industry conferences, and have a mentorship program.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll have a case study exercise to demonstrate your project planning skills.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my project management approach or experience?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Technova, particularly in terms of work-life balance?
We strive for a culture of innovation balanced with employee well-being. We offer flexible work arrangements and encourage taking time off to recharge.
That sounds like a healthy environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Alex.
Thank you, Rachel. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good morning, I'm Dr. Michael Green, the Research Director at Ecofuture Institute. Welcome to our facility.
Good morning, Dr. Green. I'm Dr. Emily Chen. Thank you for this opportunity to meet with you.
It's our pleasure, Dr. Chen. I hope you had a chance to tour our labs before our meeting?
Yes, I did. Your advanced air quality monitoring equipment is particularly impressive.
Glad you noticed that. So, Dr. Chen, you've been in environmental science for some time now. Could you walk me through your research journey?
Certainly. I have a PhD in environmental science from Stanford, with a focus on climate change impacts. I've been conducting research for the past 8 years, most recently on urban air quality.
That's a relevant background. What aspect of environmental research are you most passionate about?
I'm particularly passionate about translating scientific findings into actionable policy recommendations to improve environmental health.
That's crucial work. Can you tell me about a significant research project you've led recently?
Sure. I recently led a multi-year study on the impact of green infrastructure on urban air quality across 5 major cities.
Interesting. What were the key findings of that study?
We found that strategic implementation of green spaces could reduce particulate matter pollution by up to 25% in high-traffic areas.
That's impactful. How did you ensure the reliability of your data across different urban environments?
We used a standardized air quality monitoring protocol and controlled for variables like weather patterns and traffic density. We also employed advanced statistical methods to validate our findings.
Thorough approach. How do you stay updated with the latest developments in environmental science?
I regularly attend conferences, publish in peer-reviewed journals, and collaborate with researchers from other institutions. I also serve as a reviewer for several environmental science journals.
That's comprehensive. What experience do you have with grant writing and research funding?
I've successfully secured over $2 million in research grants over the past 5 years, including a major NSF grant for my urban air quality study.
Impressive. How do you approach interdisciplinary collaboration in your research?
I believe interdisciplinary collaboration is key to addressing complex environmental issues. I've worked with urban planners, public health experts, and data scientists in my recent projects.
That's a valuable perspective. Can you tell me about a time when you had to overcome a significant challenge in your research?
During my urban air quality study, we faced unexpected equipment malfunctions that threatened to derail our data collection timeline.
How did you handle that situation?
I quickly organized a team to troubleshoot the issue, reached out to colleagues for temporary equipment loans, and adjusted our data collection schedule to minimize the impact on our results.
Good problem solving. What do you know about Ecofuture Institute and our research focus?
I've followed Ecofuture's work closely, and I'm impressed by your holistic approach to sustainability research, particularly your recent work on climate resilience in coastal communities.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our research team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to Ecofuture's interdisciplinary projects and to leverage your advanced facilities for more comprehensive environmental studies.
Those are key aspects of our work. Where do you see your research career heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to lead larger-scale, multi-institutional studies on urban sustainability and to play a more active role in shaping environmental policy.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a researcher?
I'd say my ability to design robust studies that produce actionable results, bridging the gap between scientific research and practical application.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my data visualization skills to make our findings more accessible to non-scientific audiences and policymakers.
That's an important skill. Now, let's talk about the position. What are your salary expectations for this research role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $85,000 to $100,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our institute?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the research team here at Ecofuture.
We have a team of 20 researchers, divided into 4 main focus areas: climate resilience, sustainable urban development, renewable energy, and biodiversity conservation.
That's a comprehensive approach. Which area would I primarily be working in?
Given your background, you'd likely focus on sustainable urban development, but there would be opportunities to collaborate across all areas.
That sounds ideal. How does Ecofuture support its researchers in terms of publishing and conference attendance?
We have a dedicated fund for conference travel and actively encourage our researchers to publish. We also provide writing and editorial support for publications.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting second interviews next week. If selected, you'll be asked to present a research proposal to our senior team.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my research approach or experience?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How does Ecofuture engage with policymakers and the public to ensure research impact?
We have a dedicated outreach team that works closely with our researchers to communicate findings to policymakers and the public through various channels.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Dr. Green.
Thank you, Dr. Chin. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good afternoon, I'm Jason, the VP of Sales at Cloud Solutions. Welcome to our headquarters.
Good afternoon, Jason. I'm Amanda. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Amanda. I hope you found our office easily. We're in a bit of a tech hub here.
Yes, I did. The area is bustling with activity. It's quite energizing.
Glad you feel that way. So, Amanda, you've been in sales for quite some time now. Could you walk me through your career journey?
Certainly. I have a degree in business administration and have been in sales for 12 years, with the last 5 years as a sales manager in the SaaS industry.
That's a solid background. What aspect of sales leadership do you find most rewarding?
I really enjoy developing and mentoring sales teams, watching them grow and exceed their targets.
That's important. Can you tell me about a significant sales initiative you've led recently?
Sure. I recently led the implementation of a new sales methodology that increased our team's close rate by 30% over 6 months.
Impressive. What was the biggest challenge in implementing that change?
The biggest challenge was getting buy-in from some of our more experienced sales reps who were set in their ways.
How did you overcome that resistance?
I organized workshops to demonstrate the benefits, paired resistant reps with early adopters, and showcased early wins to build momentum.
Good strategy. How do you approach setting and achieving sales targets?
I believe in setting ambitious but achievable targets based on market analysis and historical data. I then break these down into actionable steps for the team.
That's thorough. Can you tell me about a time when your team was falling behind target and how you turned it around?
Last year, we were behind our Q3 target due to a product launch delay. I reorganized the team to focus on upselling to existing customers while we waited for the new product.
How did that strategy work out?
We not only met our Q3 target but also built a strong pipeline for the new product launch in Q4, resulting in our best quarter ever.
That's impressive problem solving. How do you leverage CRM and sales analytics in your role?
I'm a big believer in data-driven decision-making. I use our CRM to track key metrics, identify trends, and forecast accurately. I also use analytics to optimize our sales funnel.
That's crucial in SaaS. What experience do you have with long sales cycles and enterprise clients?
In my current role, I oversee our enterprise sales team, where sales cycles typically range from 6 to 18 months. I've developed strategies to keep prospects engaged throughout the process.
Valuable experience. How do you ensure your team stays updated on product knowledge and industry trends?
I organize regular product training sessions with our tech team, encourage attendance at industry conferences, and have a weekly team meeting to discuss industry news and trends.
Comprehensive approach. What do you know about cloud solutions and our products?
I've researched cloud solutions, and I'm impressed by your innovative approach to cloud security, particularly your AI-driven threat detection system.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our sales leadership team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to scale a high-growth sales organization and to sell cutting-edge technology that's making a real impact in the industry.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your sales career heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to move into a VP of sales role, possibly overseeing global sales operations and contributing to overall business strategy.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a sales leader?
I'd say my ability to build and motivate high-performing teams, consistently driving results even in challenging market conditions.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my technical knowledge to better understand and communicate our products' value propositions. I've recently been studying more about cloud architecture.
That could be beneficial here. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this director of sales role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a base salary range of $150,000 to $180,000, plus performance-based bonuses.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the sales team here at Cloud Solutions.
We have a team of 50 sales reps, divided into SMB, mid-market, and enterprise teams. You'd be overseeing all 3 divisions.
That's a good-sized team. Can you tell me more about the company's growth targets for the next year?
We're aiming for 50% year-over-year growth, with a focus on expanding our enterprise client base.
Ambitious targets. How does Cloud Solutions support ongoing training and development for the sales team?
We have a dedicated sales enablement team, provide regular product and skills training, and offer a generous budget for external courses and certifications.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting final interviews next week. If selected, you'll have the opportunity to present your 30-60-90-day plan to our executive team.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my sales leadership approach or experience?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Cloud Solutions, particularly within the sales organization?
We have a high-energy, results-driven culture, but we also value work-life balance and celebrate our successes as a team.
That sounds like a great environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Jason.
Thank you, Amanda. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Hello, I'm Daniel, the head of design at TechVision. Welcome to our creative space.
Hi, Daniel. I'm Emma. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Emma. What do you think of our office? We tried to make it as inspiring as possible for our designers.
It's fantastic. The murals and the collaborative spaces are really impressive. I can see how it would foster creativity.
Glad you like it. So, Emma, you've been in UX/UI design for a while now. Could you walk me through your design journey?
Certainly. I have a degree in graphic design and have been working in UX/UI for 7 years, currently at a fintech startup.
That's a solid background. What aspects of UX/UI design are you most passionate about?
I'm particularly passionate about creating intuitive, accessible interfaces that solve real user problems. I love the challenge of simplifying complex systems.
That's crucial in our field. Can you tell me about a significant design project you've led recently?
Sure. I recently led the redesign of a mobile banking app, focusing on improving the user experience for everyday transactions and financial management.
Interesting. What was the biggest challenge in that project?
The biggest challenge was balancing the need for enhanced security features with maintaining a smooth, friction-free user experience.
How did you overcome that challenge?
We conducted extensive user research to understand pain points, then iteratively designed and tested various solutions. We ended up implementing biometric authentication seamlessly into the user flow.
Good approach. How do you stay updated with the latest design trends and technologies?
I regularly attend design conferences, follow industry leaders on social media, and participate in online design communities. I also make time for personal design projects to experiment with new tools and techniques.
That's proactive. Can you walk me through your design process?
Certainly. I start with user research and defining the problem, then move to sketching and wireframing. After that, I create high-fidelity prototypes, conduct user testing, and iterate based on feedback. Throughout the process, I collaborate closely with developers and other stakeholders.
Comprehensive process. How do you handle situations where there's a conflict between what the user wants and what the business needs?
I believe in data-driven decision-making. I present user research findings to stakeholders, demonstrating how meeting user needs often aligns with business goals in the long run. If compromise is necessary, I try to find creative solutions that address both user and business needs.
Good strategy. What experience do you have with design systems?
In my current role, I led the creation and implementation of a company-wide design system. It significantly improved our design consistency and development efficiency.
That's valuable experience. How do you collaborate with developers to ensure design integrity in the final product?
I believe in close collaboration throughout the process. I involve developers early in the design phase, consider technical constraints, create detailed specifications, and remain available during implementation to clarify any questions.
That's a good approach. What do you know about TechVision and our products?
I've researched TechVision, and I'm impressed by your innovative work in AI-powered productivity tools. Your recent launch of the Smart Calendar app seems to be gaining traction in the market.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our design team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on products that have the potential to significantly impact people's daily lives. I'm also keen to apply my skills to AI-driven interfaces, which present unique UX challenges.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your UX/UI career heading in the next few years?
I aim to grow into a design leadership role, mentoring junior designers, and having more input on product strategy and overall user experience across multiple products.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a designer?
I'd say my ability to translate complex user needs and business requirements into simple, elegant design solutions.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my skills in quantitative UX research and analytics. I've recently been learning more about A/B testing and data analysis to better inform design decisions.
That could be very useful here. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this senior designer role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $110,000 to $130,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the design team here at TechVision.
We currently have a team of 10 designers, including UX researchers, UI designers, and interaction designers. You'd be working closely with all of them.
That's a good size. Can you tell me more about the design culture and process at TechVision?
We value user-centered design and have a strong culture of experimentation. We work in cross-functional teams and have a rapid prototyping and testing cycle.
Sounds like an exciting environment. How does TechVision support ongoing learning and professional development for its designers?
We have a generous conference and training budget, encourage designers to work on passion projects, and have regular design workshops and critiques.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting a design exercise next, where you'll have a chance to demonstrate your problem-solving and design skills.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my design experience or approach?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the overall company culture at TechVision?
We have a culture of innovation and continuous learning. We encourage risk-taking and value diverse perspectives. We also strive for a good work-life balance.
That sounds like an ideal environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Daniel.
Thank you, Emma. It was great meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good afternoon, I'm John, the Director of Content at Mediapulse. Welcome to our office.
Good afternoon, John. I'm Rachel. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Rachel. I hope you found our office easily. We're in a bit of a media hub here.
Yes, I did. The area has a great creative energy. I noticed several interesting billboards on my way here.
Glad you picked up on that. So, Rachel, you've been in content marketing for a while now. Could you walk me through your content journey?
Certainly. I have a degree in journalism and have been working in content marketing for 6 years, currently as a senior content specialist at a B2B tech company.
That's a solid background. What types of content do you enjoy creating the most?
I particularly enjoy creating long-form content like white papers and case studies. I love diving deep into a topic and crafting compelling narratives around complex subjects.
That's valuable. Can you tell me about a successful content campaign you've led recently?
Sure. I recently spearheaded a thought leadership campaign that increased our blog traffic by 150% and generated 200 qualified leads for our sales team.
Impressive results. What was the biggest challenge in that campaign?
The biggest challenge was aligning our content strategy with the rapidly changing industry trends while maintaining a consistent brand voice.
How did you overcome that challenge?
I implemented a quarterly content planning process that involved input from various departments. This allowed us to stay agile while ensuring our content remained strategically aligned.
Good approach. How do you stay updated with content marketing trends and best practices?
I regularly attend content marketing conferences, follow industry thought leaders, and experiment with new content formats. I also run a small content marketing blog where I share insights and learn from my audience.
That's proactive. Can you walk me through your process for developing a content strategy?
Certainly. I start with analyzing our audience and their pain points, then align this with our business goals. Next, I audit existing content, identify gaps, and develop a content calendar. I also establish KPIs for measuring success and plan for content distribution and promotion.
Comprehensive process. How do you approach SEO in your content strategy?
I believe in creating content for humans first, but with search engines in mind. I focus on thorough keyword research, optimizing for user intent, and ensuring technical SEO best practices are followed. I also emphasize the importance of quality backlinks through strategic content partnerships.
That's a balanced approach. What experience do you have with content management systems and analytics tools?
I'm proficient with WordPress and HubSpot CMS. For analytics, I regularly use Google Analytics, SEMrush, and Ahrefs. I'm also experienced in using marketing automation tools like Marketo for content distribution and lead nurturing.
That's a good toolkit. How do you measure the ROI of your content marketing efforts?
I focus on both quantitative and qualitative metrics. Quantitatively, I track metrics like traffic, engagement rates, leads generated, and conversion rates. Qualitatively, I look at factors like brand sentiment and sales team feedback on content quality. I tie these back to our overall marketing and business goals.
Thorough approach. What do you know about Mediapulse and our content strategy?
I've researched Mediapulse, and I'm impressed by your multi-platform approach to content distribution. Your recent expansion into podcasting and interactive content seems to be resonating well with your audience.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our content team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on a larger scale, crafting content strategies across multiple platforms. I'm also keen to apply my B2B experience to Mediapulse B2C and B2B offerings.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your content marketing career heading in the next few years?
I aim to grow into a strategic leadership role, possibly overseeing content operations across multiple brands or regions.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a content strategist?
I'd say my ability to translate complex data and insights into compelling content strategies that drive measurable business results.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my visual content skills. I've recently been learning more about video production and data visualization to diversify our content mix.
That could be very useful here. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this content strategy manager role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $90,000 to $110,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the content team here at Mediapulse.
We have a team of 15 content creators, including writers, editors, and multimedia specialists. You'd be overseeing this team and collaborating with our SEO and social media teams.
That's a good-sized team. Can you tell me more about Mediapulse's content goals for the coming year?
Our main goals are to increase our market share in the millennial demographic and to boost our video content engagement across platforms.
Interesting challenges. How does Mediapulse approach content localization for different markets?
We have a dedicated localization team that works closely with our content team to adapt our content for different regions. We're always looking to improve this process.
That's good to know. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting final interviews next week. If selected, you'll be asked to present a 90-day content strategy for one of our key audience segments.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my content marketing experience or approach?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Mediapulse, particularly within the content team?
We have a dynamic, fast paced culture that values creativity and data driven decision making. We encourage experimentation and learning from both successes and failures.
That sounds like an exciting environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, John.
Thank you, Rachel. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good morning, I'm Richard, the VP of Operations at Industrial Tech. Welcome to our facility.
Good morning, Richard. I'm Jennifer. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Jennifer. I hope you had a chance to look around our production floor. It's quite impressive in action.
Yes, I did. The level of automation and efficiency is remarkable. I was particularly impressed by your lean manufacturing setup.
Glad you noticed that. So, Jennifer, you've been in operations management for a while now. Could you walk me through your career journey?
Certainly. I have a degree in industrial engineering and an MBA. I've been working in operations for 12 years, currently as an operations manager at a mid-sized electronics manufacturer.
That's a strong background. What aspect of operations management do you find most rewarding?
I particularly enjoy optimizing processes and seeing the tangible results in improved efficiency and quality. I find it rewarding to lead teams towards achieving operational excellence.
That's crucial in our industry. Can you tell me about a significant operational improvement you've implemented recently?
Sure. I recently led a project to implement a new inventory management system that reduced our carrying costs by 20% and improved our order fulfillment rate to 99%.
Impressive results. What was the biggest challenge in that project?
The biggest challenge was managing the change process, particularly getting buy-in from longtime employees who were resistant to the new system.
How did you overcome that resistance?
I developed a comprehensive change management plan that included early involvement of key stakeholders, extensive training programs, and a phased implementation approach. We also celebrated quick wins to build momentum.
Good strategy. How do you stay updated with the latest trends and technologies in manufacturing operations?
I'm a member of several professional organizations like APIX and regularly attend industry conferences. I also follow industry publications and participate in online forums discussing emerging technologies like IoT and AI in manufacturing.
That's proactive. Can you walk me through your approach to continuous improvement?
Certainly. I'm a strong advocate of Lean and Six Sigma methodologies. I encourage a culture of continuous improvement by empowering employees to identify and solve problems. We use tools like Kaizen events, value stream mapping, and regular Gemba walks to identify improvement opportunities.
Comprehensive approach. How do you handle supply chain disruptions?
I believe in proactive risk management. We regularly assess our supply chain for potential vulnerabilities and develop contingency plans. When disruptions occur, we have a cross-functional rapid response team that can quickly implement these plans and find alternative solutions.
That's crucial in today's global market. What experience do you have with ERP systems and other operational technologies?
I'm proficient with SAP and have experience implementing and optimizing various modules. I've also worked with MES systems and have knowledge of Industry 4.0 technologies like IoT sensors and predictive maintenance systems.
Valuable experience. How do you approach quality management?
I believe quality should be built into every process, not just inspected at the end. We implement statistical process control, conduct regular quality audits, and have a robust corrective and preventive action (CAPA) system. I also emphasize the importance of supplier quality management.
Thorough approach. What do you know about industrial tech and our operations?
I've researched industrial tech and I'm impressed by your commitment to sustainable manufacturing practices. Your recent implementation of a closed-loop recycling system is particularly noteworthy.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our operations team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on a larger scale and to contribute to industrial tech's vision of smart, sustainable manufacturing. I'm also keen to apply my experience in lean manufacturing to further optimize your operations.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your career in operations heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to grow into a senior leadership role, possibly overseeing operations across multiple facilities or regions. I'm also interested in driving digital transformation initiatives in manufacturing operations.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as an operations leader?
I'd say my ability to see both the big picture and the details, allowing me to develop strategic plans while ensuring effective day-to-day execution.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my data analytics skills. I've recently been learning more about advanced predictive analytics and machine learning applications in operations to make more data-driven decisions.
That could be very useful here. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this Director of Operations role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $150,000 to $180,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the operations team here at Industrial Tech.
We have a team of about 200 people in operations, including production, quality, maintenance, and supply chain. You'd be overseeing all these functions across our 3 main production facilities.
That's a substantial team. Can you tell me more about Industrial Tech's plans for expansion or new product lines?
We're currently exploring expansion into emerging markets in Southeast Asia, and we're developing a new line of smart, connected industrial equipment.
Exciting developments. How does Industrial Tech approach employee development and succession planning in operations?
We have a robust leadership development program and encourage cross-functional experiences. We also have a mentorship program and support continuing education for our employees.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting final interviews next week. If selected, you'll have a chance to tour our main production facility and meet with some key team members.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my operations management experience or approach?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Industrial Tech, particularly within the operations team?
We have a culture of excellence and continuous improvement. We value innovation, safety, and sustainability. We also promote a collaborative environment where ideas can come from anyone in the organization.
That sounds like an ideal environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Richard.
Thank you, Jennifer. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Hello, I'm Mark, the VP of Product at Cloud Solutions. Welcome to our office.
Hello, Mark. I'm Sophia. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Sophia. What do you think of our open office setup? We designed it to foster collaboration among our product teams.
It's impressive. I love the product journey maps and user personas on the walls. It really shows a user-centric approach.
Glad you noticed that. So, Sophia, you've been in product management for a while now. Could you walk me through your product journey?
Certainly.
I have a degree in computer science and an MBA. I've been in product management for 7 years, currently as a product manager at a fintech startup.
That's a solid background. What aspect of product management are you most passionate about?
I'm particularly passionate about solving complex user problems through innovative solutions. I love the process of turning user insights into product features that truly impact people's lives.
That's crucial in our field. Can you tell me about a successful product you've launched recently?
Sure. I recently led the development and launch of an AI-powered personal finance management tool that increased user engagement by 70% and reduced churn by 25%.
Impressive results. What was the biggest challenge in that product development cycle?
The biggest challenge was balancing user privacy concerns with the need for data to power our AI algorithms.
How did you overcome that challenge?
We implemented a transparent opt-in process, clearly communicating the benefits to users. We also worked closely with our legal team to ensure compliance with data protection regulations.
Good approach. How do you stay updated with the latest trends in SaaS and product management?
I regularly attend product management conferences, follow industry thought leaders, and participate in online product communities. I also run experiments with new tools and methodologies in my current role.
That's proactive. Can you walk me through your product development process?
Certainly. I start with extensive user research to identify pain points and opportunities. Then I work on defining the product vision and strategy. From there, I collaborate with design and engineering to create a roadmap, prioritize features, and develop MVPs. Throughout the process, we conduct user testing and iterate based on feedback.
Comprehensive process. How do you handle situations where there's a conflict between different stakeholders about product direction?
I believe in data-driven decision-making. I present user research findings and market analysis to stakeholders, aligning everyone around user needs and business goals. If conflicts persist, I facilitate discussions to find creative solutions that address various concerns.
Good strategy. What experience do you have with agile methodologies?
I've worked in agile environments for the past 5 years. I'm experienced in sprint planning, backlog grooming, and running effective stand-ups. I also have experience in scaling agile practices as organizations grow.
Valuable experience. How do you measure the success of your products?
I focus on both quantitative and qualitative metrics. Quantitatively, I track user engagement, retention rates, and revenue metrics. Qualitatively, I look at user feedback, NPS scores, and customer support tickets. I tie these back to our overall product and business goals.
Thorough approach. What do you know about cloud solutions and our products?
I've researched cloud solutions, and I'm impressed by your suite of cloud-based collaboration tools. Your recent integration of AI for predictive task management seems to be a game changer in the market.
You've done your homework. What interests you most about joining our product team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work on products that are shaping the future of work. I'm also keen to apply my experience in AI-driven products to further enhance your offerings.
Those are key aspects of the role. Where do you see your product management career heading in the next few years?
I aim to grow into a product leadership role, possibly overseeing a portfolio of products and mentoring junior product managers.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a product manager?
I'd say my ability to synthesize complex user needs, technical constraints, and business requirements into a clear product vision and executable strategy.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my technical skills. I've recently been learning more about machine learning and blockchain to better understand emerging technologies that could impact our products.
That could be very useful here. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this senior product manager role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $130,000 to $150,000 annually.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the product team here at Cloud Solutions.
We have a team of 15 product managers, each responsible for different products or features within our suite. You'd be leading one of our core products and managing a small team of associate product managers.
That's a good setup. Can you tell me more about Cloud Solutions' product strategy for the coming year?
Our main focus is on deepening our AI capabilities across our product suite and expanding into new international markets.
Exciting challenges. How does Cloud Solutions approach product experimentation and innovation?
We dedicate 20% of our resources to exploring new ideas. We run regular hackathons and have an internal incubator for promising concepts.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting a product exercise next, where you'll have a chance to demonstrate your product thinking and problem-solving skills.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my product management experience or approach?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the company culture at Cloud Solutions, particularly within the product team?
We have a culture of innovation and customer obsession. We encourage calculated risk-taking and learning from failures. We also value work-life balance and offer flexible working arrangements.
That sounds like an ideal environment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Mark.
Thank you, Sophia. It was great meeting you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps. Good afternoon, I'm Dr. Alan Chen, the Chief Data Officer at Neurotech. Welcome to our AI Research Center.
Good afternoon, Dr. Chen. I'm Dr. Sarah Johnson. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's our pleasure, Dr. Johnson. I hope you had a chance to see our quantum computing lab on your way in.
Yes, I did. It's truly impressive. The scale of your computing resources is remarkable.
Glad you appreciate it. So, Dr. Johnson, you've been in the field of data science for some time now. Could you walk me through your journey in AI and machine learning?
Certainly. I have a PhD in computer science with a focus on machine learning. I've been working in data science for 8 years, currently as a senior data scientist at a major e-commerce company.
That's a strong background. What areas of AI and machine learning are you most passionate about?
I'm particularly passionate about reinforcement learning and its applications in real-world decision-making processes. I'm also deeply interested in the interpretability of AI models.
Those are crucial areas. Can you tell me about a significant AI project you've led recently?
Sure. I recently led the development of a deep learning model for personalized product recommendations that increased our conversion rates by 35% and significantly improved user engagement.
Impressive results. What was the biggest technical challenge in that project?
The biggest challenge was handling the scale and sparsity of our user item interaction data, which numbered in the billions.
How did you overcome that challenge?
We implemented a distributed training system using TensorFlow on a GPU cluster. We also developed a novel approach to negative sampling that significantly improved training efficiency.
Innovative solution. How do you stay updated with the rapid advancements in AI and machine learning?
I regularly attend top AI conferences like NeurIPS and ICML, contribute to open source projects, and collaborate on research papers. I also run a technical blog where I break down complex AI concepts.
That's comprehensive. Can you walk me through your approach to a typical data science project?
Certainly. I start with a thorough understanding of the business problem and data exploration. Then I move on to data preprocessing and feature engineering. Next, I experiment with various models, optimizing hyperparameters and evaluating performance. Finally, I focus on model interpretation and deployment, ensuring scalability and monitoring model performance in production.
Solid process. How do you handle situations where the available data is insufficient or of poor quality?
In such cases, I explore data augmentation techniques or synthetic data generation. If those aren't feasible, I might recommend collecting additional data or adjusting the project scope. I also emphasize the importance of understanding the limitations of our models given data constraints.
Good approach. What experience do you have with big data technologies?
I'm proficient with Hadoop and Spark ecosystems. I've worked extensively with distributed computing frameworks and have experience optimizing machine learning pipelines for big data.
Valuable skills. How do you approach the ethical considerations in AI development?
I believe ethics should be a fundamental consideration in AI development. I advocate for fairness testing of our models, transparent reporting of model limitations, and careful consideration of potential negative impacts. I also stay informed about AI ethics guidelines and regulations.
Crucial in today's environment. What do you know about Neurotech and our AI initiatives?
I've followed Neurotech's work closely, and I'm impressed by your advancements in quantum machine learning. Your recent paper on quantum-enhanced neural networks was groundbreaking.
You've done your research. What interests you most about joining our AI team?
I'm excited about the opportunity to work at the cutting edge of AI, particularly in quantum machine learning. I'm also keen to contribute to Neurotech's mission of developing responsible AI that can tackle complex global challenges.
Those are key aspects of our work. Where do you see your career in AI heading in the next 5 years?
I aim to lead pioneering research in quantum-enhanced machine learning, potentially bridging the gap between theoretical advancements and practical applications. I'm also interested in mentoring the next generation of AI researchers.
Ambitious goals. What would you say is your greatest strength as a data scientist?
I'd say my ability to translate complex technical concepts into actionable insights, bridging the gap between advanced AI research and real-world applications.
That's valuable. And what's an area where you feel you could improve?
I'm always working on enhancing my quantum computing knowledge. While I have a strong theoretical foundation, I'm eager to gain more hands-on experience with quantum hardware.
That aligns well with our work. Now, let's talk about compensation. What are your salary expectations for this lead data scientist role?
Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this position, I'm looking at a range of $180,000 to $220,000 annually, plus equity.
That's within our range for this role. Do you have any questions about the position or our company?
Yes, I'm curious about the size and structure of the AI research team here at Neurotech.
We have a team of 50 researchers, divided into quantum ML, reinforcement learning, and AI ethics groups. You'd be leading the Quantum ML team of 15 researchers.
That's an impressive team. Can you tell me more about Neurotech's plans for future AI research directions?
We're focusing on scaling quantum ML algorithms and exploring their applications in drug discovery and climate modeling.
Fascinating areas. How does Neurotech approach collaboration with academia and other research institutions?
We have strong partnerships with several universities and regularly engage in collaborative research projects. We also encourage our researchers to publish their work and participate in academic conferences.
That's great to hear. What's the next step in the hiring process?
We'll be conducting a technical interview next, where you'll have a chance to dive deep into some of our current research challenges.
Thank you for explaining that. Is there anything else you'd like to know about my research experience or approach?
I think we've covered the main points. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yes, one last thing. How would you describe the research culture at Neurotech?
We foster a culture of scientific curiosity and rigorous inquiry. We encourage bold ideas and provide the resources to pursue them. We also value work-life balance, understanding that breakthroughs often come after periods of reflection.
That sounds like an ideal environment for groundbreaking research. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Dr. Chen.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. It was a pleasure discussing AI with you, and we'll be in touch soon about the next steps.